Hello, I hope you are well, and boy do I have a treat for you today. It is the end of March and I am here to share with you the wonderful John's Garden in Ashwood Nurseries. But not only am I sharing with you plants that are in flower at the beginning of March, because I visited here right at the beginning of March and that's going to be the first half of the video. Not only am I sharing with you plants that are in flower at the end of March, because it's the end of March and I'm right here to share plants that are in flower with you too. I'm also sharing with you an exclusive interview with John Massey himself right at the end of this video, sharing with you his inspiration and his tips and tricks if you want to create a wonderful garden like his. So get your pens and papers ready, let's go, and I've got a lot of good stuff in store for you. Come on! There is so much inspiration in this garden. Straight away in early March, there's swathes of daffodils and crocus, a Victorian greenhouse filled with plants, beautiful views, fantastic pot displays as well as kokedama displays, the sweetest seating areas with inspired planting, water features, the most fantastic pond, hellebore polytunnels filled with hellebore displays, as well as orchid greenhouses, sculptures that you could potentially purchase for your own garden or even make, like these hazel catkin plant supports, or these tied together corner sculptures, or if you're feeling really adventurous, some chicken wire animal sculptures like these incredible deer chicken wire sculptures. The inspiration is boundless. Now for this first half of the video, I'm going to share all of the plants that were out in early March. So get your pens and papers ready as I go into that, and then the second half I will share what was out in the end of March. So right at the beginning of March, there was lots of snowdrops out, lots of speciality ones, also known as Galanthus, and I'm going to share those with you. So this is Galanthus Crimwild, a slightly shorter one, Galanthus Corker. This snowdrop had more wide open flowers and was aptly named Galanthus Pyramid. This taller variety of Galanthus Gemini. Another tall one that's just starting to go over in places but is very beautiful is Galanthus Magnus. A really pretty variety with super plump heads is Galanthus EA Bowls, and they're beautiful both arching and when you upturn them, so pretty. Ones with lots of stems per clump is Galanthus Broadwell, and the last of the snowdrops is this tall Galanthus Natalie Garten. If you're looking for foliage for either the garden or the vase in early March, this rosemary from the Prostratus group was wonderful with its arching stems. A real standout plant was this Calamagrostis amadensis with these great big tall grass heads still holding onto their fluffy seed heads, and they do drop a little but not much. I have to really rock and shake them, so they'd be great for not only the garden but also the vase. This gorgeous deep velvety purple hellebore is Hellebore Danna's Dulcet. The gorgeous scent of witch hazel, this is Hamamelis Duftsabar. Now how about this for some zingy green? What an incredible green early March flower. This is Helleborus abruzicus. It's got these brilliant green flowers that are just forming seed pods. A few of them have a little bit of brown on the top, but not too many, so it should be great for the garden and the vase. Check out this small, sweet, shade-loving plant, Ypsilandra thebetica. A bit too small for the vase, although you could put it in a bud vase, but very lovely, about the size of a thumb. Another great shade-loving plant is this, Asplenium scolopendrium crispum boltans nobile, and look at those long, glorious, crinkly green leaves. They are fantastic. And for something even more tall and statuesque, at over 6 feet tall, this is Miscanthus malpartus with these fantastic fluffy seed heads that don't seem to lose any of their fluff when knocked. They're about the size of my hand, flame-shaped, absolutely glorious, brilliant for both the garden or the vase. This gorgeous number is Helleborus Anna's Red with those deep cherry velvety plum flowers, absolutely beautiful, just forming seed pods, brilliant for the vase, brilliant for the garden, and the bees love it too. A small pretty plant that brings lots of hope for early spring is Narcissus Douglas Bank. This beautiful little daffodil is so cheery and golden. Another stunning dwarf beauty is Silamistian Koana, a beautiful soft pale blue. It's very dwarf but so pretty. Now for something far more tall and absolutely dripping in these hot cherry blooms, it's Pyrrhus japonica Valley Valentine, and romantic and gorgeous it is indeed. A classic fantastic foliage plant not only for the garden but also the vase is Fatsia japonica with those great big gorgeous glossy leaves. A shrub that pumps out loads of gorgeous soft pink to dusky rose lacy blooms is this Viburnum tinus Lisa Rose. Then for a pop of vibrant blue, it might be small, but the colour is mighty, Iris reticulata Harmony. Another small beauty that pumps out colour is a wonderful hot pink cyclamen coum, and I love the different ways they've displayed it. Pouring underneath the decking, just simply filled on a pot on a table, looks absolutely magnificent, or on different levels surrounded here by these wonderful rocks which are very interesting by themselves, but the different levels of cyclamen coum looks fantastic. And lastly, pouring out of a broken pot. Sorry for the janky filming here, I accidentally filmed in time-lapse and tried to slow down. The wonderful dusky pink catkins of Salix Mount Aso look absolutely glorious, underplanted with beautiful crocus and surrounded by sculptures. It's a beautiful sight to see in early March. And for something far more uplifting and electric, you cannot go wrong with Cornus Sanguina Annie's Winter Orange to add some dramatic colour to your borders. Now, if the cornice is a little too dramatic for you, but you're still wanting pops of colour, this fantastic Cornus aurea might be what's perfect for you, pumping out loads of golden lovely blooms. Or better yet, not just a tree that gives colour but also scent, like this Hamamelis Orange Beauty. Or if you prefer blossom, there's the beautiful soft pale pink going into white of the Prunus Kojo no May. There was also the vibrant lipstick red of Camellia japonica RL Wheeler. There was also the beautiful rich magenta Helleborus foetidus decaya, which has beautiful colouring, but the leaves do sadly smell a little bit cabbagey, but the flowers are glorious. The dusky shades of Helleborus pippus purple, Pulmonaria Diana Clare, Pulmonaria blue ensign. In the greenhouses there was the sumptuous Camellia auburn white, as well as the fluffy romantic Camellia Jories yellow, the hot pink of Camellia Debbie with those fluffy double blooms, and the very romantic, fluffy Camellia Brushfields yellow, as well as the Pyrrhus Select pumping out those lovely white and soft pink blooms. And lastly, for the early March flowers, it's Edgeworthia Grandiflora, which might not look like much, but by goodness, this pumps out the strongest perfume. It smells magnificent. So those were the plants that were in flower right at the beginning of March. Now I'm here right at the end of March to show all of the wonderful plants that are in flower right now. So keep your pens and notebooks ready and let's keep on going, because I'm going to share even more with you. And don't forget, at the end we've got the incredible interview with John Massey himself. And just like early March, late March is filled with inspiration from swathes of later flowering daffodils, euphorbias, leucojums, fritillarias, anemones. And do you remember that border with the twisted cornice? Just look how much it's erupted into colour now. What an explosion. And the pond still looks fantastic with even more colour. Colours coming into the cracks, loads of successional planting from earlier, and pot displays too. So get your pens and paper ready as I share the plants that are in flower at the end of March. So kicking things off for the plants that were out at the end of March is this beautiful Narcissus Muriel. It's a low, soft lemon, almost white, beautiful daffodil. A fabulous mix of Anemone coronaria. The beautiful foliage of what was formerly known as Hebe but is now called Veronica Pink Elephant. And you can imagine this plant would look amazing not only in the garden, but a few sprigs of this in posies would look fantastic. The very beautiful, super pale blue, almost white Muscari Siberian Tiger. So dwarf but so pretty. Another beautiful dainty one is Iphiantessa. It's so soft pink and beautiful and fairy-like. This is Muscari Night Eyes, which is a tall purple variety Muscari with a bright blue tip. This is a stunning white snake's head fritillary, which is not only gorgeous for the garden but is brilliant for posies too. Now this was an unlabelled, super tall Fritillaria, but if I had to take a guess, it looks exceptionally similar to Fritillaria Early Fantasy, and I would put money on that it is that, because it's got that gorgeous apricot shade and is wonderfully tall. One of my favourite early spring flowers, it's Leucojum Grave Tie Giant, super tall, super delicate, and looks fantastic in the garden and the vase. This lovely lilac number is anemone double flowered, and you can see exactly why it's called that. It's got those beautiful double flowers, very tall for an anemone and very pretty. This is Fritillaria verticulata, and it's got these great, tall, wonderful stems filled with pale green blooms. Absolutely magnificent. This is Helleborus Percy's Peach, which for me looks a little bit more cherry pink and dusky pink, but it's exceptionally beautiful, full of flowers and lots of seed pods too.
This is a really good example of successional planting. Back in early March, this whole circle was filled with Ophiopogon, the black grass, which looked fantastic contrasting against the white birch, particularly in such a small area. But as you can see now, all of these bulbs are erupting through, so you're getting another layer of interest, and of course they will later on flower, and it looks absolutely beautiful. But as you can imagine, now where it's a sea of green, it was once a sea of black. Now sometimes Ophiopogon to me looks like soil from a distance, but here, because it's been so well done on a small scale, it doesn't look like soil, and with those bulbs just bursting through, it looks absolutely fantastic. Here's another inspired planting scheme, and I was actually speaking to John Massey, who said that this fritillaria wasn't actually planted by himself. All the bulbs had been moved by squirrels and consequently planted here. And it just goes to show that sometimes interventions by Mother Nature really work out, because this, against the canal, looks absolutely sublime. Here's the lovely purple lace of Lunaria, also known as Honesty, just starting to flower. This beautiful soft lemon, almost white daffodil is Narcissus Sailboat. A beautiful display of wallflower, also known as Ericium scarlet bedder, interplanted with lots of lovely tulips yet to open up. Another unlabelled fritillaria, but if I had to guess what this was based on the colouring and how early it is, I would guess Fritillaria Early Wonder, a beautiful golden variety. Another unlabelled plant, but too good to miss off. This is white flowering currant, and if I had to guess which one this is, I would guess it's Ribes Elkington's White. It's absolutely glorious, smothered in those white flowers, and has that beautiful blackcurrant smell. This is beautiful Tulip Ballerina, which is a gorgeous scented variety of tulip. I must admit, most of the tulips are a bit earlier than usual this year, which is a joy to see, but this is absolutely glorious with those orange, almost red, beautiful, beautiful blooms. This beautiful hellebore is Helleborus Molly's White, and I love the way they've supported this, but it's covered in blooms, so many stems per plant, and they're all producing beautiful seed pods right now, so great for picking too. This is the wonderful perennial candy tuft Iberis sempervirens, and it looks fantastic cascading down walls and makes a great filler in small posies too. Now, just as there was in early March, in late March there was wonderful camellias in the greenhouse too, and this fantastic red double variety is Camellia Ruby Wedding, whereas this pure white camellia is Camellia japonica Swan Lake. And this hot pink fluffy camellia is Camellia Tristem Carleon, beautiful double variety. This soft white double one is Camellia Silver Anniversary. And this was one of my favourites. This is Camellia Margaret Davis, white on the inside with raspberry tips on the end of the petals. Very, very beautiful. For a lovely spring early lace flower, there's Macdenia Karasuba, as well as Brunnera Betty Bowring. And for lovely blossom, there was Prunus Hallijolvet. Also glorious Skimmia Q Green and Skimmia Fragrant Cloud. There were so many glorious Pyrrhus, which as you can see are not just good for us, but good for the bees too. And this one is Pyrrhus Bonfire. This lovely white and pink number is Pyrrhus Cupido. This pure white Pyrrhus is unsurprisingly called Pyrrhus Purity. And this sumptuous cherry red Pyrrhus is Pyrrhus Passion. And lastly, for the standout Pyrrhuses, it was this Pyrrhus that was just absolutely abundant in blooms, Pyrrhus Select. And because Ashwood makes me think so strongly of hellebores, I wanted to end the plant tour with a wonderful hellebore. And this is Helleborus Vibey Velvet. And what a glorious colour it is.
And now on to the wonderful, short but sweet, fantastic interview with John Massey, sharing with you his inspiration for this garden and his tips for creating a wonderful garden like this. So I'm here with the wonderful John Massey, creator of this fantastic garden, and I wanted to pick his brains and share his wonderful mind with you. So John, can I ask you first of all, how long have you had this garden for?
The garden's 27 years old,
Okay.
and everything's been planted apart from one tree.
Gosh.
In that 27 years, yeah.
And did you plan this all out, or?
No, nothing's planned. The only thing that was ever drawn up was the pool and rock garden. That was sketched on the back of a cigarette packet. But no, I love that a garden evolves rather than. I think if a garden's over-designed, it can become quite sterile.
And the fun and the joy of just
Yeah.
letting it go. And as you've designed it over the years and let it evolve, have you come to have a few favourite plants that you think are real standouts for you at different times of the year?
Yeah, I love all plants. Like these on the table here are probably my personal speciality, hepaticas, mountain woodland plants. I've travelled all over the world from North America, China, Korea, Japan, Kyrgyzstan, and lots of places in Europe looking at them. So that's my a little bit of knowledge. I've got a little bit more know-how of, but funny, I wrote a book on them, and I think the main thing that you learned writing a book was how much you didn't know.
Well, I totally understand that. I feel like the more I'm getting into gardening, the more I'm getting overwhelmed in a good way with how much choice there is.
Yeah.
And for any beginner gardeners or gardeners wanting to aspire to get a garden at your level, do you have any tips or tricks or advice that you'd share with them?
Well, I think the main thing is not to rush it. Only do what you can cope with. Because you know, if it becomes a chore and you think, oh God, I've got to do the garden this afternoon, I want to go out for a walk, then it goes backwards. Like if you can get some of the structure of your trees in first, that is a great help. But the beauty with plants is you can, if you get something wrong, you can move them. You've got about 6 years of honeymoon period where you can, you know, easily move things round.
I love that. Nothing's set in stone when it's set in compost. No.
When the thing is, whatever you do, I don't think we've ever got a bed right first time, ever. But you can move everything around, and I think this is what's so important.
And I think that's so inspirational, because obviously you look at your wonderful garden and you assume, gosh, there's such clever design gone in, but when you talk about actually taking it at a pace you enjoy and evolving, and the fact that you didn't get it right straight away, that gives us hope to just, and permission to make lots of mistakes and enjoy that process, which I really love. One thing I'm super passionate about is not using flowers that are imported and growing them from the garden. Do you ever cut your own flowers and bring them in the house?
Very rarely, I must admit. I usually moan if my sister does that. You know, if there's a special occasion, we will occasionally cut flowers and take them into the house. I just love them in the garden though.
That's fair. I do appreciate that, but I like to have both in the garden
and
in the vase.
Well, yeah.
I totally understand that. John, you've been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much. It's been a joy meeting you, and also I think all the inspiration that you give to people with your garden is just incredible. So a big thank you, and to anybody who's watching, I'm sure they'd want to say thank you to you too.
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, John. See you. So there we have it, the fantastic John's garden at Ashwood Nurseries. And if you haven't visited this garden, make sure you put it on your list to visit, because it's incredible any time of the year. But for me, it's especially stand out at March, when other gardens may not have quite as much colour. It's absolutely glorious. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Colour Wheel Garden YouTube channel so I can connect more with you and share more wonderful floral content with you, like this video. And of course, if you do appreciate all the tips and tricks and garden inspiration and floral demonstrations, you can always buy me a coffee. The link for that is in my bio, and that just helps with my plant fund, learning fund, and of course incentive to carry on, because I hope you appreciate a lot of effort goes into this content, but I want to share as much as possible with you, because it's totally possible to have seasonal sustainable flowers for your garden or your vase at any time of the year. So a big thank you to everybody who's already subscribed, and thank you for enjoying this video. I hope you've loved it. Wishing you all the best. TTFN, ta-ta for now.